What's good, YouTube? Rashad Lamar here. It's been a while since I did one of these movie reviews, so I'm pretty excited about this one. It's gonna be the Monster Hunter movie. Have not played any of the games. For anyone who doesn't know, Monster Hunter is based off a video game series. I don't know if the video game series is based off something else. It might be, I have no idea. But I did see the movie. I was interested in seeing it. I figured it could be a great introduction to kind of take me into perhaps playing the games, Monster Hunter series. I think they got a new one coming out for like Nintendo Switch or something like that. Without further ado, let's get into the movie. So I went into this movie blind. I don't know anything about Monster Hunter. I have no idea. So went into it assuming that it was gonna be some folks in like a guild or something going around hunting monsters. Instead I get Milla Jovovich and her crew. It consists of like T.I., Megan Good, some other actor, I forget who it was, but you'll see that on the screen. So they're all going on some sort of mission. Can't remember what the mission was, but long story short, they end up getting thrown into some sort of storm. It's like a storm, they see it and they're trying to like get away from it. It's almost like the storm is chasing them. It's really really crazy looking. Really just kind of crazy how it all goes down. They go into the storm and they kind of get thrust into it to wake up in some other world, right? So wake up in this other world, you know, immediately you know, they see some strange things, see like some bodies burned to like an absolute crisp. So it looks like, you know, another platoon or something that came before them got totally just roasted, and they're like, you know, they're not understanding how something got burnt so badly just out in the desert, like for no reason, right? And then they get attacked by a monster. So all this happens like really fast. Not quite as fast as I'm explaining it, but damn near. So they get attacked by this huge monster. They're shooting it, and you know, nothing's working. You know, so they pretty much end up running for their lives, and you know, they're in this this armored military vehicle, and the monster just tosses them around like rag dolls. It's really crazy. Good CGI on it. I'm assuming it was CGI, but it looked really good. So I feel like the budget was there. I feel like they allocated the budget well, so I thought it was pretty awesome the way that played out. You know, good set pieces and action scenes there. You know, eventually they, you know, most of them, I guess I won't tell you exactly what happened, but some, you know, some people would do a better job escaping the monster than others. So they end up escaping to like some sort of cave, and you know, this is where things start to get bad. I'll save it for spoilers, and I'll have a timestamp. I'm gonna have it all in one video. It's gonna be timestamped. It kind of tells you where some spoilers are at, so you can skip ahead to that point if you don't want to kind of know what really happens in the movies, and if anybody dies in the movies, stuff like that. So there'll be a warning. But yeah, they get attacked by some sort of spider-like creatures, and pretty much all hell breaks loose. They pretty much just get one thing after another going on to them. So it was just really crazy the way everything happened. A lot of action. But I feel like some of the characters were underutilized. You'll kind of understand more when we talk about the spoilers, but some of the characters weren't really in it that often. Of course, Milla Jovovich was, but some of the other characters, you know, kind of like took a back seat, like total back seat to Milla. And I'm fine with that. They call her Artemis, so I'll just call her Artemis going forward in the movie. But then she encounters a hunter. The hunter, I don't think he has a name. He just goes by the hunter. I think the IMDb, I got that up on the screen. It just says the hunter, so I guess he's the hunter. Like the two of them meet, and they like immediately just come to blows. And this was actually my favorite part of the movie. Like this really well choreographed fight sequence between Artemis and the hunter. Man, it was crazy. They were beating the shit out of each other. It was like really, really good and really unexpected fight scene. And it went on for like a long time, and you know, it was one of those fight scenes where like they were fighting so long, they're like, you know, they're like tired as hell, and they just keep going. And you know, but you know, eventually, you know, they realize that they're not one another's enemies, and you know, they combine forces and they work to take on one of the bigger monsters, so I guess they can get the heck out of there. Eventually some other characters are introduced, and you know, all this stuff. You know, this kind of will get to my criticisms of the movie in a second, but it's kind of a decent amount of characters, and you know, they end up fighting some more monsters. So there's a couple different monster fights, like maybe like as far as like main battles, like maybe like 3 or 4 like main battles, and there's like a couple little micro you know, monster fights where something shows up and somebody like kills it like immediately, right? But that doesn't start happening until like way later in the movie, when I guess everybody kind of figures out what they're doing. But early on is pretty much the squad is just getting their ass kicked early on in the movie. And you know, as you might guess, ass kickings come with sacrifice. So, you know, not everybody makes it out alive in the movie. Even in the very first scene of the movie, you know, somebody pretty much dies like immediately. So kind of a lot happens in the movie, but I'll kind of get to my criticism. So there was a lot of action in the movie. CGI was good, effects were good, you know, acting pretty average. Like it's really nothing like amazing. But you know, it was good, it was solid. But what ends up happening is some of the characters, they're just so underutilized, and the actual story surrounding like what's going on is not fully fleshed out. So you kind of in the movie almost where you started, kind of not really knowing like what's up with this storm, and you get a little bit more information. Sorry about that phone ringing, but you get a little bit more information about like, I guess, where the storm comes from, but you don't really get that much. So you don't really get that much context behind why they're there, and like how everything works. And you know, like there's just so many different things. Like the character, the hunter, you don't know nothing about the hunter. And there's even like this ring, and if I missed it, don't crucify me here, but there's like this ring that Artemis has, and she like is like obsessed with this ring. She looks at it like multiple times during the movie, and at one point she even kisses the ring. And I'm like, is this like a, you know, a spouse, or you know, somebody, you know, deceased spouse and a live spouse? And I don't remember them ever answering that in the movie. So maybe they did and I missed it, but I only saw the movie once. But I remember kind of being intrigued by it to find out more about the character Artemis, but it just never happened. So I never found out about Artemis, the hunter, you know, anything about T.I.'s character. I can't remember the name for the character. Megan Good, like all these characters in the movie, I didn't really learn anything about really by the time the movie was over. You know, it was just kind of they get in a bad situation, and you know, they get out of the bad situation. You know, they get in a fight, they get out of the bad situation. That pretty much was the movie. You know, it seemed like I guess they just skimped on the story. Somebody decided to take it easy on the story, I guess, and you know, get the job done with the special effects to, you know, I guess try to keep people interested in it. You know, overall, well, I'll get to my score in a second. I will start talking about spoilers now, and then I'll jump to the score at the end. So my main issue is there's like this tower that develops the storms that sends you from one dimension to the next. And they said something about some ancients or something developing it, but you don't really get any sense for like who these ancients were, why they developed this to go between dimensions. There's even talks of like some sort of like the ancients like destroying themselves. That's like one of the reasons. It's like one of the reasons they gave, which makes no sense. They destroyed themselves. Like that's what the actor, I forgot his name, dude who plays in Hellboy, he's on here somewhere, Ron Perlman. Yeah, so Mr. Hellboy himself, yeah, he's like, they destroyed themselves. And I'm like, okay, that's like very cookie cutter. That doesn't explain shit. So we don't know who these ancients are. And then there's like apparently a dragon that guards the tower, which is awesome because they get to fight the dragon. That's like one of the best parts of the movie as well. But like, where's the dragon come from? and then at one point the dragon's even defeated, and then another one shows up like immediately, and I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, it's cool that there's another dragon to fight. I guess it gives them something else to do. But where is it coming from? Like, is that being generated as well by the storm? Like, you know, are there multiple dimensions? Like, there's just so many questions. No backstory on the characters. You know, most of the characters from the beginning. Again, this is spoiler, so if you're still watching, it will be spoiler. Most of the characters die. You know, T.I.'s character dies. Megan Good's character dies. And earlier, I think I tried to play it off. But I think T.I. has a name, but Megan Good's character, it literally, I'm looking at IMDb right now, and it literally does not have a name for her character. I don't know, maybe she had a name in the movie and I can't remember it, but there's not, it's literally a blank space. You'll see it for yourself. So I was just kind of disappointed by that, to be honest. I just felt like they should have did more with those characters. Instead, it felt kind of like a bait and switch, like, yeah, let's reel people in, you know, and get them to come in and watch the movie, and then once they watch, you know, once they get started, you know, we already got them, we already got the money, now we can just play out the real story with the real actors that we wanted in the movie all along. I really hate it when companies do stuff like that, but at least Milla Jovovich is one of my favorites. I loved all those Resident Evil movies. I think I liked all of them, except for like maybe the third one. But she was great in those, in any other movie that she's in. I pretty much like her in everything that she's in. So I feel like she's a really good saving grace. She's just a good presence to have on screen, and she's great for action movies and stuff and action sequences. It's like she was built for it or something. But overall, that's kind of where my gripe is, you know, I like movies for story, and there was like really no story here. If the games follow this, then I guess maybe it was true to the games, but I don't have familiarity with the games. I just went into it blind, and I wanted like a better story, or just more story, or something be fleshed out, or something explained or answered or something. Like, there was really no answers, no character development or nothing. So, you know, spoilers over, I'll go ahead and tell it my score. I'll give it a 6. That's as high as it can go for me. 6 out of 10. So it was okay. I like the action sequences. You know, it was, I guess, you know, I think a 6 for me is supposed to be like pretty good. So it was decent, but it definitely could have been better. You know, needed more story development. There was plenty of time in the movie to do it. There's even a funny scene in the movie. They were talking about chocolate, and you know, Artemis is talking to the hunter and showing him what chocolate is, and they kind of just go back and forth. He's like, chocolate, chocolate, and he like just scoffs it all down real fast. Chocolate, 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 chocolate. It's like an idiot, but I guess he really likes it, and she runs out, and he's kind of salty. She runs out of chocolate. Stuff like that was kind of fun and kind of cute that happened, but they should have been spending that time developing the story further, or just lengthen the movie or something. Like, do something so that it kind of makes sense. And so like next time, you know, if there's a sequel, I'm thinking about, oh, I actually want to see this because I remember what happened in the movie. Like, instead, my thoughts on this movie is, you know, they ran into some monsters, something about jumping across dimensions, and they had to fight monsters in the other dimension, and you know, and now they can, you know, something about the dimension. In the next dimension. It's like, I don't know, I guess I feel like that just wasn't enough. You know, action, good action and CGI is kind of like a dime a dozen these days, so I definitely feel like you need more than that. But if you're looking for like a movie just to like enjoy just watching something, then this is it. So this will do it for you if you're just looking to have something to watch. I did see it in theaters. It was you know, a pretty decent experience in theaters. But if like Wonder Woman comes out in like a couple days, if you got that as an option, I mean, you already know what the choice is. So I would just recommend checking that out. I haven't even seen it, but I just know that it's, you know, it looks like a story-driven narrative. So I just know it's gonna be better than this movie. So I definitely recommend just checking that out instead. But if you're just bored as heck like I was, just go check the movie out. All right, y'all. That about covers it. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Give the video a like and subscribe. I appreciate all y'all real MVPs for subscribing. liking the video. I'll catch y'all next time. Shalamar out.